Happening now, the latest on a high-speed chase in Chautauqua County that netted an alleged kidnapper. Plus, we're tracking how absentee ballots will impact some major races, including those in Jamestown.
Well, we had some of that snow for Election Day and also the day after, but is there any more snow in the future? We'll talk about it next as the news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now. This is WNY News Now with live breaking news.
Businesses now have until just after the new year to roll out the federal COVID-19 vaccine mandate that impacts large companies. Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. The White House announced the news just this morning that the deadline for workers to get vaccinated or face strict testing protocols is now January 4th. The order impacts enterprises with more than 100 people, as well as those who work at healthcare facilities that treat Medicare or Medicaid patients. The measure also applies to federal contractors. After the deadline, any employee who remains unvaccinated must provide a negative COVID test weekly or pay, and vaccines that employers are not mandated to pay for those testing. Fines for noncompliance will vary based on the company's size. A company might have to pay up to $13,000 per individual violation. Well, for a few races across Chautauqua County, absentee ballots will be the deciding factor in determining a victor, including for a race for Jamestown City Council. Our Bronson Rasmussen joins us live in the newsroom with more on what races are in question. Bronson?
Justin, after tallying all the ballots on election night, there's an 11-vote difference between Ward 3 Democrat Councilwoman Regina Brackman and Republican challenger Robert Reedy. Election officials tell us that 36 mail-in ballots were sent out to those voters, with 16 returned so far. It's not just Brackman and Reedy waiting on the ballots, but also the candidates for Chautauqua County Legislator District 1, Village of Fredonia trustees, and council races in Dunkirk. As Election Commissioner Brian Abram explains, all eyes are now on the absentee ballots, the counting process, to determine a winner.
The process is going to take some time, and we're painstakingly gathering not only absentees but affidavits. 2,516 have been sent out, and as of right now, 1,462 are back.
By Friday, most of the mail-in absentee ballots are expected to arrive at the Board of Elections office in Mayville. However, Commissioner Luce Torres says they must have been filled out correctly and mailed in timely in order for the vote to count.
We check the postmark. We timestamp it. We've received all the ballots. We timestamp all of them.
The vote will be tallied nearly 2 weeks after Election Day and bring closure to several close races.
And we're trying to, and we are summarizing mathematically as of today what races would still be in place.
The Board of Elections will bipartisanly open the absentee ballots on Monday, November 15th at 11 a.m. in their Mayville offices. We will be on hand for the process, which is open to the public, and provide coverage on both on air and online at WNYnews.com. Live in the newsroom, Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
Bronson, thank you. New York voters approved a ballot measure adding the right to a clean environment in the state's constitution, but rejected other proposed amendments that could have made it easier to vote. The environmental measure was one of 5 statewide ballot questions before New York voters Tuesday. Supporters say ensuring a constitutional right to clean air and water will require the government to consider the environmental policy making and give greater weight to people who sue over the failure to do so. Voters soundly rejected 2 other proposed constitutional amendments which related to voting rights. One amendment would have gotten rid of a requirement that people register to vote at least 10 days before an election. The other rejected amendment would have removed a constitutional restriction limiting absentee voting to New Yorkers who are ill have a physical disability or who are outside of the country. Now, throughout the pandemic, New York has allowed any voter fearful of COVID to vote by mail, but Democratic lawmakers wanted to make no excuse absentee voting permanent. A 35-year-old man wanted for kidnapping a woman is in custody after allegedly fleeing police during an overnight pursuit. The Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office reporting that Damas Rios was located at a business on Route 60 in Ellicott just before midnight. It's alleged that he fled at a high rate of speed and then a vehicle pursuit ensued. That chase continued throughout the town of Ellicott and city of Jamestown before it ended when his vehicle became stuck while driving through a residential yard on Vineyard Street. Deputies report Rios fled on foot while they were securing the female from his car. The Sheriff's Office canine followed his human odor from that vehicle and found him hiding nearby. Well, the new pharmacy opened to the public here in Jamestown. The Chautauqua Center held a grand opening ribbon cutting at the Waterfront Pharmacy on Institute Street yesterday. That pharmacy offers the same prescription services to the community that it was previously only open to TCC patients. The Chautauqua Center plans to duplicate these amenities in Dunkirk once their new facility on East 3rd Street opens. The pharmacy is open Monday through Thursday, 8 to 7, and Friday, 8 to 5. Well, in a push to honor service members this Veterans Day, the Chautauqua County Humane Society is waiving its adoption fee for all vets and active military. All cats and dog adoptions, which include spay, neuter, surgery, vaccinations, and microchipping, are part of this program. The standard adoption screening process still applies, though. For more information or to view the pets that are currently up for adoption, head on over to chqhumane.org. Certainly we love our furry friends and we love our veterans too, so it's exciting to announce that. Let us know what you think about this and more in the comments section down below. We always love to hear from you, and thank you for joining us here on Facebook Live and Channel 716. It's great to see Pam, Barbara, Susan, and Linda as well. Hopefully you're all having a wonderful day out there. And staying warm because it seems like winter definitely has arrived. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us live with that, although I hear we do have some good news coming, Dakota.
Yes, there is going to be at least a little bit of a slight turnaround coming for the end of the week and going into next week. But right now the clouds really abode from the Barcelona harbor. Hey birds, this is my camera. Get off. Had a couple, I think they were seagulls or something that just flew on by the camera lens. 43 right now, but no wind to speak of, so at least there's really no wind across the area right now. That is the good news. But as you look on the satellite and radar, we do have, again, some of these light lake effect rain and snow showers. They're not going to be everywhere today, so the coverage is going to be decreasing through the day, and then ultimately as temperatures start to warm up slightly, these snow showers will possibly go away and then change over to some rain showers, but we still have a little bit more to go through tonight, then we'll get rid of them for good for at least a little while. 40 was the high yesterday, started the day at 29, 78 and 18 are the record highs and lows. So through the afternoon, mostly cloudy with lake effect rain and snow showers. The best chance of that's going to be mainly from the central portion of the southern tier to the north, mainly near the Lake Erie shoreline. Spotty elsewhere, 38 to 45, so another cold day with a south to southwest wind. Now we do see at least some warmer temperatures heading into next week. How warm will it get? We'll talk about it with that 7-day forecast later on in the show.
Five new deaths and 313 additional cases of COVID-19 were reported here in Chautauqua County last week. That the County Health Department announced the news in their weekly update yesterday. Of the new cases, 102 are here in Jamestown. There are now 296 active, with 15 of those in the hospital. Health officials say that 56% of those cases over the past month were people who were unvaccinated. The 7-day average positivity rate is slightly up from the week before to 6%. The CDC continuing to maintain us under a high transmission rate as well. Well, with kids and finally able to get vaccinated against COVID, many parents might be curiously optimistic, but some are still on the fence about whether to vaccinate their child or not. WNY News Now's Kristen Allen has more.
Like a gymnast on the uneven bars, kids have had their world flipped upside down since the pandemic began. Doug Persian has largely viewed the last year through the eyes of his gymnasts at Erie Gymnastics.
The kids were missing that normal, that the kids were missing sporting activities and getting that steam out, and it was unhealthy for them.
With the CDC giving the go-ahead for children ages 5 to 11 to get smaller doses of the COVID-19 vaccine, parents we spoke with say they have a big decision to make.
For the peace of mind, at least I want to be educated to make decisions. So I try to probably look for a lot of information and read and figure out what benefit or disbenefit of making that decision.
I've been on the fence about it. I keep trying to weigh the options.
Persian says in talking with his gymnast parents, he's seen both sides of the vaccine debate.
There still are quite a few families that are very, very concerned about it, and the fact that the vaccine is out there is going to alleviate some of that fear for some families and allow some kids to return back to some sort of normal.
For this dad, he still has some research to do before his kids are signed up for the shot.
At the end of the day, we have to kind of make educated decision whether or not we feel like their body can handle this new vaccine or not.
But for this mom, her kids are already scheduled for their first dose.
I'm hoping that it pushes the worry away, because as a mom you worry about your kids and if they're going to be in contact with somebody and if that's going to shut down their life for 2 weeks or if it's going to get them really sick.
Kristen Allen, Erie News Now.
Coming up, what Jamestown City Councilwoman is taking on a new role helping to break down educational barriers. And later, what the Supreme Court has to say about a crucial Second Amendment rights case here in New York State. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
What could you lose in a home fire? Your possessions? Your home? Your memories? Don't let your world go up in smoke. Make sure you have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones, because fire is everyone's fight.
This message was brought to you by the Jamestown Fire Department and the Chautauqua Safety Village.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Welcome to Honest John's Pizzeria, where you are the most important customer.
Everything from freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has it all.
And don't forget the ice cream!
Order online today or check out our 2 great locations with buffets ready for every appetite.
Don't I have the best job in the world?
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
A city councilwoman has officially been appointed Student Support Service Coordinator with Jamestown Public Schools. The district announced that Tamu Reinhardt actually started that job back in July, but the district didn't announce the news until Election Day. Reinhardt announced earlier this year that she would not be seeking another term in office. In the new role, she's responsible for helping students who are struggling to learn within the school environment. Specifically, she will address inequities and helping to roll out their equitable access to learning opportunities across the district. Well, a community south of us is mourning the loss of a student and a bus driver after a school bus crashed into a truck late Tuesday night. As Erie News Now's Keelan Berrien reports, the Pennsylvania community is still reeling from that horrible crash.
A school known for its arts and performances went through a tragedy on its way back home. I really feel sorry for them. I really do.
The school bus rammed into the back of a tractor trailer on I-79 northbound. According to police, 2 deaths were reported: the bus driver and a 14-year-old student.
I feel sorry for the parents that lost their loved ones and everything like that, and it's just hard. It's just hard to say anything.
5 teens injured were sent to nearby hospitals by ambulance or medical helicopters. I reached out to the school and officials, but no one had anything to share. Instead, the school sent a statement mourning their losses and asking for prayers. At this exact location is where the accident happened. We looked around to see if there was any skid marks on the ground, and there were none. So it leaves the burning question that everyone has been asking: what was the bus driver doing to cause this accident?
We have kids from all over the state of Pennsylvania to come here, so it's just awful that they've lost one of their students.
Fortunately, Leslie and Eric Bower from Erie was behind the school bus and didn't hesitate to giving helping hand. Leslie helping students off of the bus, and Eric holding the hand of a trapped student. An act of kindness and bravery will take this couple a long way. Keelan Berrien, Erie News Now.
Well, for the first time in more than a decade, the Supreme Court is hearing arguments on a significant Second Amendment case. Justices are back on the bench for a case about a gun law in New York. It requires a resident to prove that they face a special or unique danger to their life in order to get a license to carry a concealed pistol or revolver outside of their home. The case was brought forward by an affiliate of the National Rifle Association. It argues the law makes it almost impossible for an ordinary citizen to obtain a license because the standard is so broad and left to the direction of the licensing officer. The Second Circuit Court of Appeals ruled in favor of the state. Well, after nearly a week abroad, President Biden is returning to a drastically changed political landscape. As John Lawrence reports, his infrastructure and spending plans are stalled in Congress, and his party now struggling at the polls.
While declaring victory with the authorization of COVID-19 vaccine for children 5 to 11,
we've taken a giant step forward.
President Joe Biden is still facing a number of political setbacks. Democrats in Congress have yet to pass his $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure plan, nor a sweeping $1.75 trillion social safety net expansion bill.
I do know that people want us to get things done.
The lack of action taking some of the blame for major Democratic losses in state elections this week.
We should have passed before Election Day.
House progressives who have held up passage of the infrastructure bill in order to negotiate the separate spending bill reject such criticism.
Every attack ad I saw against Terry McAuliffe did not say Congress hasn't passed the infrastructure bill.
In a major shift following the election losses, Speaker Nancy Pelosi reintroduced 4 weeks of paid family and medical leave to the spending measure, jeopardizing support in the Senate. The House Majority Whip says they are ready to move forward.
I think that the better part of wisdom is for us to get to common ground within the next several hours, try to pass that bill this week, both those bills this week.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
All right, well, now let's get a check of our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us with that. And it was quite the night on Tuesday. I know you were out kind of doing double duty like so many of us do here in our awesome newsroom, assisting Julia up in the North County. And the scene was pretty tough. I know Sean got some incredible images of Say It Ain't Snow.
That's right. That's right. And Sean took the Storm Interceptor out on Tuesday night to capture some of this amazing video of the lake effect snow that is moving on through. It kind of looks like one of those, I don't know, what do you call them? Like visual tunnels, isn't it? Woo!
Now that could get scary if you're tired and trying to drive home in that.
Oh, I know. I mean, it was terrible. I mean, taking Route 60 back coming from Dunkirk, it was awful, almost near whiteout conditions, and man, it was just nasty out there. But again, this is typical lake effect snow, very localized, and man, the good news is we don't have that right now from downtown Jamestown. Just a lot of clouds downtown right now. As of noon hour, we're at 36, no wind, so at least that's helping to keep the wind chill in check, but it's still a cold day. You're still going to have to bundle up as you head outside. Now, as we go into Sunday, Saturday night, we say goodbye to daylight saving time and we go back to standard time. So make sure, if you still have manual clocks, make sure you set them back 1 hour so we get 1 additional hour. So here's the new sunrise time on Sunday, 6:58. Anybody want to take a guess what the sunset will be on Sunday?
5 o'clock?
You're very close. 5:03.
Hey!
Yes, Justin gets a cookie, actually. 5:03 is the new sunset time on Sunday, so that's just a depressing stat. And also, don't forget, replace and check your batteries in that and that. NOAA Weather Radio. We talk about these. Every home should have a NOAA Weather Radio, and obviously every home needs to have a smoke detector. Just like how you need a smoke detector, you need a NOAA Weather Radio. There's my message for today. All right, let's talk about what's going on right now on the radar. This is mainly just lake effect rain showers that are mainly across Lake Erie, but as you work up towards Dunkirk, again, you may be seeing some light rain showers, and also the same thing when you work across the southern part of the southern tier, might be seeing a little bit of light drizzle, maybe a snowflake or two, and this is all, again, trough digging on in, so again, a north to northwest wind, but we're starting to see a southerly wind component set up, and a southerly wind always means warmer air, but not too warm. But we'll talk about it here. So let's take you through future scan here. Notice a few light rain and snow showers will continue through the day. The better chance of this is mainly going to remain north of, at least from a line from, I'd say, Route 60 to the north, same as we've had over the past couple of days. That'll be the best chance for at least some of those snow showers. A few light rain and snow showers early will ultimately start to taper off as we go through the overnight hours. Tomorrow on Friday should be a nice day, partly to mostly sunny, and we may even break out to at least an area of at least a good supply of sunshine for Friday. And as we go into the weekend, the weather really turns nice. I really think you're going to like the weekend. So temperatures this afternoon, yeah, lower 40s. It's another cold day, a few light rain and snow showers coming off Lake Erie. And now the future is coming up on the screen. Notice we go up to 45 tomorrow. We should break the 50-degree mark on Saturday, even better on Sunday. And it looks like the dry weather will take us all the way through at least mid next week with temperatures hanging out in the 50s. We'll take a break. Be right back.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes! Make a plan today.
It's not just what we say, it's what we do.
Local first. It isn't just our slogan. It's our mindset every single day. So whether you're watching our daily live streams or staying up to date with reports on our website and mobile app, you'll always see the same attention to detail from reporters who passionately care about our community, who have one goal in mind: to always put the facts first.
For me, it's more than just getting the forecast right. What I love the most about my job is that I come into work every day to help break down the weather, letting people know how this is going to impact their day. We take pride that First Defense Weather is the only local weather team in the southern tier. We don't just copy and paste our weather from outside sources. Every part of our forecast is handmade right here in-house, something our team really takes pride in.
What matters to you matters to us. Every story, every day. WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well,
I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Welcome back. It's the sign of the competitive nature of the American job landscape right now. Companies beefing up their perks to attract new employees and retain workers as the nation deals with a growing shortage. In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan takes a closer look at what's being offered and why some are still choosing to stay away from the job market.
It's a good time to be looking for a job in America. Companies are rolling out the red carpet to attract new talent as more people leave the workforce, leading to what some are calling the Great Resignation.
What we're seeing, I think, in a lot of cases is one, is the pandemic is wreaking havoc and fear on people as far as going back to work.
And it's issue number one for companies as COVID continues to reshape the jobs market. A census survey found nearly 5 million people are not working because they're taking care of their kids. 3 million people saying they're worried about getting or spreading the virus. And a record number of people simply quitting their jobs, saying they want better pay, better working conditions, and more flexible working arrangements.
Lots of families and people are looking at their work-life balance and they're changing careers, or they want to change careers.
With the holidays quickly approaching, companies are scrambling in a war for workers, some offering higher wages and sign-up bonuses to attract new hires. Amazon offering up to a $3,000 signing bonus for its temporary workers, an average starting wage of $18 an hour. Companies also beefing up perks, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment, paid time off for volunteering, IVF coverage, even pet insurance. Then there's this.
I have bought each one of you 2 first-class tickets to anywhere in the world.
Spanx founder Sarah Blakely giving back to her employees. Along with those free flights, workers also got $10,000 to spend on their trip. For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
All right, Jen, thank you. UPS, Kohl's, Nordstrom's, Macy's, and others are also adding workers for the holidays now, with some offering sign-on bonuses for new hires and other incentives. Yeah, it definitely seems like that help wanted sign, it's not going anywhere. And I know that during the last, I'd say over a year, they were arguing that unemployment, extended unemployment insurance, benefit insurance, you know, the extra, it was $600 at one time in your paycheck, in your unemployment check rather, was in the way for a lot of people. But now that that's been gone, we're still seeing these shortages. So I think it really is interesting to see what the workers want and why.
Well, you know, in that report, they had a good essence of how COVID has helped to reshape the workforce. And I really am starting to think that's true, because I think prior to COVID, everybody just went to work and we did this and we just didn't care because we knew it's a routine. We just got up and went to work. But I think when COVID hit and the pandemic forced us all to work from home, and kind of seen how in some cases, big employers especially don't treat their workers fairly, and in some cases they don't even treat them like workers. While they're making very low pay, it's like, you know, the big higher ups are buying 3 yachts.
Exactly. You have that, people are trying to get out of that corporate ladder, I think. And it's very apparent now in the TV news industry. I think I shared the article with you, if you remember, Dakota, but a few weeks ago I was reading about an analysis of why more people, we've seen it in our own area, have left this industry because of the demanding hours and the fact that your bosses don't really care about you in some senses, or maybe they do, but there's only so much they can do to help in that sense. So a lot of them say, I'd rather just spend time with my family, this is across board too, spend time with my family and find some other sort of job in the future.
Right. I mean, you know, this is a great time for people who want to get into broadcasting, because there's a lot of jobs open because there's people who are just quitting just the TV news business, and especially in meteorology. Like, you know, but the problem is, but it's also forcing the corporate owners who own local TV stations that maybe the base pay isn't enough. Maybe they need to work on getting the pays up, and you know, that will retain people. So I think there's going to be some great things in the future coming out of this.
So. I agree, and I think here at WNY News Now, not to toot our own horn, but we're lucky enough in that, you know, we have local ownership. So we run our broadcasts, and we have that flexibility of, you know, I think we're nice to each other. We've got a pretty family atmosphere.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. But with every family, you get arguments, right? And B, I think we look out for each other, and we really try to grow in that sense, so it's pretty cool. Well, that's it for us today. We are back tomorrow. Hopefully you have a wonderful day.